What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin, XCN, USD today. Hit that like button, subscribe, and thank you all for being here. It is the 11th day of February, and here we are sitting at about $0.005 right now. Moving down slowly, methodically, slowly but surely. We did have a nice little pump last Friday, and we've been eating that back ever since. It doesn't look like this was the move that we were looking for to break us out. We're coming back down. We're still in this downtrend. Let's see where the next area to find support will be. It's either going to be a higher low or something on the lines of a double bottom overall that we're looking for, okay? And it's very important that if and when we get to this double bottom zone, that we break out of this downward sloping trend with that reaction, right? We don't want to find support, find resistance at the same area that we've been finding resistance, and then come back down. That would not look good for this as a double bottom overall. We might have to start talking about prices going down to like 002s, 003s, stuff like that, before we see any kind of more substantial recovery from there. I don't know if I said it, but hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about this on a short-term basis. We'll look at the 1 hour time frame, and then we'll zoom out from there. 1 hour time frame here, 00505. It's a nice little wick. It's a nice little bit of recovery there. The RSI, wow, okay. Okay. We're breaking out of this downtrend. It's not bad on the 1 hour, you guys. I don't like the higher highs, right? Higher highs with lower highs is not good, but at the same time, you've seen your pullback. Like hidden bearish divergence, and it's all relative strength index. You have a higher high here, but a lower high here. Relatively speaking, that's an appropriate pullback. That actually is completely appropriate. You actually broke down, you saw lower lows, and then you ate that back up immediately. This is interesting. Paired with this breakout of this overall kind of like downward sloping angle here, the 1 hour RSI is neutral. It's not going to be helpful. But for how neutral and unhelpful it is, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. The stochastics don't look the best, but they don't look the worst either. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're in a bearish posturing here. Blue's tilted upwards. If we keep moving up from here, that'd be great. Get above, let's just see. Let me put this, there we go. I'd say get above here, yeah. Get above 0055, let's just say 56. Get above 0056. I'll start to be convinced that this is the low if we get above this high here. I'll start to be convinced. So if we get above 0053, I'll start to be convinced. But don't just convince me, convince everybody else by getting above 0055. Really 0056 will be very convincing at that point. If we get above there, then we likely are going above this high, okay? Which would be exciting, because if we get above that high, there's a very strong chance that we might just be sending it up to 2 cents. And again, all this logic is based off of just some interaction we're having on a 1 hour time frame, so don't get too excited. 4 hour time frame here, looking at this, from a low to a high, you're moving down, and again, something that gives me a lot of faith that not only will we not persist moving down, but that this downtrend's coming to an end, is just that the volume has died off entirely. The only time we get volume is whenever we wick to the downside or when we're moving up. We only get volume whenever we move up. And we're at the golden ratio zone here, guys. We're having a hell of a time breaking through the golden ratio. I mean, this makes me think that we could move up. We get above there. Again, the 236 coming in at that same level. 00555. You get above 0056. We're home free, man. We're home free. Don't just move up there and then reject. Don't just wick above there and then reject. We have to stay up there. We have to close up there. And we do that, again, statistically speaking, we have a high probability, guys, of breaking out of this overall downtrend here, and thus going to the next phase up, which would be probably around 2 cents. From here, at half a cent, that don't sound too bad, does it? Let's look at the 4 hour time frame again. Looking at this here. Bullish divergence on the 4 hour MACD. You guys, it's not just bullish divergence here. It's bullish divergence like, dude, it's been building. It's been building up. Maybe not. Maybe it's not. Maybe that doesn't count. Maybe don't think of it like that, because these aren't lower lows here. So still the divergence is, or the momentum is dying off, but these lows would not add to this overall divergence. However, because we have lower lows relative to here, there still is bullish divergence here as well. The stochastics have bullish divergence. The RSI is neutral and sad, but it's like you should have been oversold. Why, if you're rejecting the 50, you're rejecting the 50 here, why aren't you going lower? You've had all these opportunities. If we were doing this but to the upside, we were like trying to get overbought, but we were finding turbulence here, kept finding resistance, I'd be a little scared. Might be exciting that we're moving up here. The most exciting thing, in my opinion, is the daily, because of this beautiful bullish divergence on the daily MACD. That's the thing that's most exciting for me. On top of that, we have double bullish divergence on the stochastics, right at the point of which they would expect to cross. The RSI doesn't have bullish divergence, but that's okay. You got very deep in the overbought zone, you bounced right off the oversold zone. I guess that's bullish in itself. And you are right now at the same areas that you were whenever you found support, not just here, but really throughout all this, you're kind of in that localized area there. I gotta admit, guys, whenever I made this video, I was really thinking that the path we'd be going down was talking about going a little bit lower, hopefully finding a higher low, or even the possibilities of seeing a lower low and doing a double bottom, but I'm starting to really think we don't go below this low. I want to look at the 1 hour time frame one more time. Where are we in accordance to that gap? That gap's over here. Do keep in mind, we could go down to fill that gap, but again, if you're holding your breath over this gap, it's a pretty tight gap. They're not everything. Maybe we do go down to 00478. Maybe we bounce right there. That is our local 786 fib retracement right there. But if we don't go there, I'm not holding my breath. This is a pretty positive reaction we're having so far. It's just on the 1 hour time frame, so let's not get too excited. Let's see how this plays out. But I'm getting giddy, guys. I'm getting excited. As we zoom out, there's definitely some momentum being built to the upside, and just with how long we were down here, with how long we kind of rounded this bottom out, and how long we've been down here still, I really do think we're in a process of an overall larger bottoming kind of phase that will send us up to 2 cents. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. And again, I know it might seem kind of odd, and some people might think that I'm being biased here, but just hear me out, okay? Hear me out. I'm not being biased for this coin just because it's the second largest position in my portfolio. I'm not being biased because of that, right? I'm being biased because we've been moving down for over a year. For just under a year, technically. Like 1 month shy of a year. From high to low, you basically had a bear market. Not only that, but from your lows in November, your November 21st lows, to where you are now, you're in the green. You're in the green. From your December lows, you're in the green. We go to the others chart, we look at the average altcoin. And by the way, again, November 21st, this was the point at which a lot of people started to say we were in a bear market, but we didn't really validate that or confirm that until February, until we got that macro lower low. For other people, there's other ways to validate or confirm that, but like in the most official sense, we didn't validate it. We didn't have a lower low, a downtrend officially determined until sometime in February. Throughout this whole time, everything was consolidating, and now things are lower. We look at the others chart. Since December, the average altcoin's down about 10%. OnyxCoin's up about 10%. Since November 21st, since that low, the average altcoin is down about 16%. OnyxCoin is up about 10% from that low. OnyxCoin's up even more actually from the December lows. So while everything else is down 10% since December, OnyxCoin is up 20% since December. While everything else is down 16% since November, OnyxCoin is up 9% since November. While everything else is getting lower lows, OnyxCoin actually has a higher low. And yes, it sold off. Yes, it dropped a little bit, but not a lot of volume. A lot of these other coins, when they were dropping, they had a lot of volume actually backing that up, and volume increased. OnyxCoin decreased in volume. We've been selling off for about a year. You're in this bottoming zone. You've got some serious momentum built, not just on your daily MACD and stuff, but on the Bitcoin chart as well. On the XCN BTC pair, there's some serious divergence that I think has yet to be completely resolved. But we'll see. Time will tell. Bitcoin in that same light, since November 21st, is down 17%. since any lows that it had in December, it's down even more, right? I'm not just bullish on OnyxCoin and then bearish on the rest of the market for no reason. I'm bullish because OnyxCoin actually has a higher low. OnyxCoin actually has been outperforming the average altcoin. And then this sell-off that we've had, while it has been consistent, it hasn't been tenacious. It hasn't been brutal. There wasn't a lot of volume, and we still have the Goliath mainnet set to come out before Q1 is over. You buy the hype, you sell the news. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we rallied, and coincided directly alongside of that was the announcement of the OnyxCoin mainnet sometime between now and the end of this month of February or sometime in March. And then that might be a sell the news event. It might be. And with sell the news events, they're tricky. Sometimes you continue to pump after the event. Sometimes you sell off days before the event, because OnyxCoin, I think, has a focus on it. Right? I think that anybody and everybody involved in OnyxCoin is very aware of this Goliath mainnet release. And that's something that we all, at this point, you kind of have to count on as an investor for this to happen. What I will say, if it doesn't happen, if we don't get the mainnet to release, if they push it back, as an investor, I won't be upset. I'll actually be happy. I would be upset if they pushed the release of the mainnet in Q1 because they said they would, and because they said they would, they feel like they have to push it in Q1, even if it's an incomplete product that sucks, that's not going to work. I'd rather you push it back a freaking year, make it work before releasing it. Because pushing back might suck short term, it might hurt your feelings. Oh no, this isn't what I expected. But it's way better than releasing a shitty product, right? It's way better. Because if they're not ready and they push it back, that means that they're taking their work seriously. They want to be taken seriously. They're not going to promote a product that's not finished. You don't want to buy a car that's an unfinished product. You would rather wait a month or two or a year for a safe, reliable vehicle than just getting in the first car that they promote off the line because they said they'd have it done by Q1. That's not how it is. And I don't think that's going to happen. They've been pretty timely. They've been pretty good. They've had a long time to work on Goliath. I believe that they will have it out by the end of this first quarter. And again, with that, I wouldn't be surprised at all if this rally happens directly coinciding with that. We'll start to rally. People are like, why is OnyxCoin pumping? What's the reason for it? We already know the reason, right? Buy the hype, sell the news. And again, because anybody who's involved with OnyxCoin is very aware of this sell the news event, things can be tricky. Maybe it's the day that mainnet gets released. That's the top. Maybe that's the day. Maybe it's a week before. Maybe it's a week after. It'll be interesting to see. We'll use the charts to help us determine. Show me the charts. I'll tell you the news. Right now, I think we're getting set up for something fierce. And if I'm correct in assuming that we will move up, I would say we're on track for the release of the mainnet either by the end of the month of February or likely sometime in the first half of March. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen, but we'll see. I have no insider information. I'm not a OnyxCoin ambassador or insider at all. All my thoughts and theories are just that. They're just thoughts and theories. If you like my thoughts and theories, hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.